Hi everybody, and welcome to another video of our tarot series. We're continuing through on the major arcana, and we ended on the last video with number 10. So today we're starting with card 11, the Strength card. Now this card stands for inner strength, and it's the inner strength that's needed in order to overcome obstacles in your life. It's kind of like a means of a force of will at overcoming all them odds. It stands for the inner strength to get through difficult times, difficult situations, and decisions. Now, this card can also be used to symbolize a person's faith in a religion or some kind of other belief system that they're involved in, or faith in themselves or others. Now, if this is in a reading upright, this would stand for moral and ethical strengths. It stands for things like courage, fortitude, energy, determination. It can also mean the inevitable success after enduring long hardships. So if you've been through that stretch like, oh my God, I just can't catch a break, you're about to catch it. Now reversed, it can show an abuse of power. It can be disgraceful, and it's weakness that can bring on a whole bunch of discord or lack of harmony, chaos. So it's never a good thing to see that inside of a card layout. You always want to see that upright. But if it is in fact reversed, it's letting you know that either protect yourself if it's from the outside, or if it's something you feel is going on in your own life, it's going to show you in the layout. Other cards will help show you the way to fix that. So, next card is 12, the Hanged Man. Now, there's a lot of misinterpretation about this card, or I shouldn't say misinterpretation because everyone's is different. There's no right or wrong. Now, in mine, it's not ever a bad thing. Okay, this isn't like you would imagine it to be. Okay, remember this deck is very, very, very old. Remember, it came way back from the 14th and 15th century. So they have different depictions on that. Now, the Hanged Man actually represents personal sacrifice, and that it's done willingly, too. So you do it willingly in order to obtain a goal. So in a reading upright, this card signifies like self-sacrifice, intuition, devotion, but it's also that surrender and growth of wisdom. And the people that always come to mind for me when I see this are like the monks. You see them fasting for long periods of time. They're silent. They're constantly meditating. They're always going within and connecting with their spirit. They go through so much self-sacrifice, but they're obtaining this goal of enlightenment. So I hope that kind of helps you too to understand what this card actually means. That's what always helped me understand it. Now, if it's reversed, it actually goes the opposite. It's selfishness. It's petty sacrifices that don't go anywhere or don't really mean anything. It's just to make someone look good. It's a lack of belief in you, yourself, or in others. It also means losing something that you wanted or needed, though. Now, this card also stands for having to pay the price to get what you need or want. Okay? Always remember that. No matter the position, that is kind of like the background meaning of this card, is that you have to be willing to pay the price to get you what you want or need. Okay? Now the next one, another misinterpreted card, Death. Yes, this can actually mean death, but it's actually like a small percentage of the card. Most of this card is not as daunting as a lot of people think. It actually represents a severance to your past, okay? It's like letting go. So you're ending things that once were so that you can move to something new. Now, these things can be abrupt like death, but done for the greater good. It's a release of, let's say, old habits, old routines, things that no longer serve you. Now, in a reading, if this is upright, this card kind of stands for mortality, inevitability, or even a situation that can't be avoided. Remember what they say, there's only two things in life you can't get away from, and that's death and taxes. So they're making their point right here, too. Okay? A situation that cannot be avoided. Yes, this card can actually mean death as well sometimes, but mostly representing a death to past failures. It can also stand, by the way, for sudden collapse of any plans that you've made. Maybe that there was a glitch or a reschedule or something at the very last minute and everything just kind of fell apart and you got to hurry up and put that house of cards back together. Now, if it's reversed in your reading, that can be bad. That can stand for destruction, failure of plans, a loss of faith in yourself or something. It even means that there's changes for the worse instead of better. But remember, it's not always death, okay? It's just death of something. So remember that. It doesn't have to be as scary as it looks. Now, the next card is number 14. Let me see if I can get her. Oh, she's dancing in the camera. Let me see if I can get her straight. Okay. So this card is 14, Temperance. And this is funny because this is one that I would personally struggle with. It's a card that represents patience and self-control. This card represents your willingness to learn and understand. Now, it stands for a necessary waiting period or delay. Again, that's where that patience, that's that thing I struggle with. But you must wait, okay? Now, in the reading, if this is upright, it stands for that patience and restraint, moderation, so don't go on the frenzy, okay? It also means reflection. So while you're waiting, being patient and waiting, use that time to reflect. Now, it stands for someone who can show the ability to coordinate and manage too, by the way. So always see how she's juggling that water and it's just like perfect? It's because she's spot on, okay? So this is somebody who's in a position and knows their shit and they're doing it. So remember that. So let's get back to this. Now, if this was reversed, it stands for a lack of harmony or, let's say, unfortunate alliances or deals being made. It can stand for unacceptable marriages or partnerships that are constantly competing, either with people, say family members, or outside parties, other love interests. It also, hence the reason for frustration and impatience. This card also tells you don't rush things, okay? Don't push things. There's nothing you can do about it right now, but it'll in fact arrive in due time. So you never have to worry if you'll not get the answer. It'll come, but you have to have the patience for it, okay? Now, number 15, the Devil. Okay, now this one does live up to itself. This card is, in fact, as it looks. It's the Devil. If this card shows in your layout or any reading, it's going to bring havoc and chaos. So if it's upright, listen to this. It's hatred, violence, destruction, turmoil, fatality. God, I'm trying to have bad luck. It's basically everything you can imagine. It means to have things taken away from you and feelings like you're in situations that are unescapable. Kind of like a helpless feeling. Now, reversed, it's pettiness, it's weakness. It means illness, jealousy, envy, making bad choices that bring disaster while benefiting others. Now, this is not a good card to have in a reading either way because you can see no matter upright or reversed, I am hard-pressed to find anything positive in it. So, this would not be a card you would want to see in readings very often. If it does appear, it is very important to read the cards that are around it to understand what it's specifically referring to that is chaotic in your life. Okay? Now, the next one is the Tower. Let's get this up there. Now, this card stands for destruction of things due to lack of understanding, lack of good judgment, and letting all those poor decisions be made, especially when your gut told you it was a bad decision. And yep, it was right. These things can cause setbacks, which then ruin plans, strategies, and all of it resulting really from misusing your divine gifts that were given to you. Now, this card can also represent like material loss, financial loss, even trouble in relationships. And remember, these relationships could be any. It could be friendships, relationships at home, intimate relationships, relationships with coworkers or your boss. Heck, it could even be a relationship with the guy who punches your ticket in the car ramp. Doesn't matter. It's going to bring trouble no matter where you go. Now, in a reading, this card stands for disruption, misery, deception. Now, it's unforeseen, and the misery it brings is sudden, okay? And it's big. It's all going to fall apart. Now, it shows financial or personal loss. You could think of that maybe, I'm trying to think of some things like destruction of your home or business, or a separation or a divorce. It could be, oh, what do they call that boy? The son, that prodigal son. There we go. Could be a prodigal child even. It just shows disruption either way, whether it's upright or reversed. But the differences are, when it's upright, it's just telling you, keep in mind the things that are going on. Maybe there's a decision that's coming up or something going on in your life that needs your attention. Give it the attention, or it will fall apart. Okay? Let's move on to the next one, the Star. This is number 17. So we're going to get this straightened out here. There we go. Now, this card represents wisdom, immortality, understanding. It can also mean accomplishment of your goals. Now, when you see this card, it should remind you of the old saying that if you take something, make sure to give something back. Or I think nowadays it's called paying it forward. So in a reading upright, this card would stand for wisdom, immortality, but happiness and intellectual fulfillment. The spiritual enlightenment can also bring satisfaction, destiny, insight, prospects even. Now, if this card was reversed, this card actually can mean frustration, disappointments, abandonment, even arrogance that leads to a great loss. So keep all those things in check, okay? Now, 18, the Moon. My favorite one, too. Now, this card represents mystery, intuition, psychic abilities, but it can also lead to deception or danger. I mean, when you look at it, it's dark. Think of that moonlit night. It is mysterious, and the owls hooting and the crows are crowing. You got to think of things like that, and danger, because things can be lurking in the darkness. So this goes without saying that what you make of it is what you're going to get. This card means to make sure that you've done your homework before making a decision. This card says to take that conscious control. So in a reading, if this card is upright, it stands for hidden danger. So it's advising you to caution or scandal, error, disillusionment, deception. They're all going to prevail. And the flip side of the positive is this card can also, though, refer to the psyche. It tells of intuition, psychic abilities, and that they're currently operating around you. Now, reversed, this card can actually stand for instability, silence, deception, danger. It's like whenever I see that this card reversed in a reading, it's like my go-to thing is watch your step. Okay? So, the next one is number 19. And this is the Sun. Now, this card stands for like a bridge between this world and the next one. It also a decision to reach and the goal and the work you're doing now to get where you want to be later. Do you kind of see that, how that bridge works? This card also stands for happiness and contentment as well as success and fulfillment. It can also mean gifts are received, and that could be physically or non-physically. It could mean like you get a gift in the mail, or you received a gift that maybe when you start doing tarot, you've decided, or not decided. I apologize. That was the wrong word. You've determined that you now have the gift of being able to be intuition and utilizing that gift to give someone a proper reading. So when you look at it that way, that's pretty exciting. It also can mean, though, new beginnings, as in like the birth of a child, or a marriage, or a new career, or even just a promotion. So anything good in life. And here's the kicker. Even if this card is reversed, it means the exact same awesomely wonderful things. Because this card can never be negative. That would be pretty awesome to have that in your layout, wouldn't it? And now, the next one is Judgment. What a thing to have follow such an awesome card. Now, this one stands for saying goodbye to your old way of doing things and coming into a new one. Isn't that the reason for butterflies? And they show so many pretty things. No matter the change, it will be for the better. It stands for new beginnings, new outcomes, new conclusions. It means the end of doubting things and beginning to know things. You'll find answers to all your questions and so on. So if you saw this upright in a reading, this card would stand for decisions and results of a positive outcome. It'd mean a fresh start or a new beginning. And with this, you can also expect to receive news or announcements that'll have positive effects, by the way, too. But if you see this card reversed, it's going to show you delays. Things are going to be postponed. There's going to be weaknesses. This card just can sometimes represent a positive or a possible punishment for something that was attempted. Now, you could take these in a positive way or a negative way. Sometimes the positive is if you could kind of foretell this thing coming up. You saw something that you were thinking of doing. This card pops up and it's reversed and it's telling you, hey, there's possible punishment for something that was attempted. Boom, you can be indicated right away to negate that whole plan, scrap it, put it in the trash can. So when you're interpreting these, you can take it for that as well. Now, everything can be a negative because there's always a little bit of positive in everything. Now, the last one is the World. Now, this is an excellent card to have. It's a complete mastery and understanding of everything around you. It represents perfection and attainment of all your goals and things that are now complete, and you have full understanding of your own in spirit and the things around you. I mean, in a reading upright, this usually stands for like ultimate change for the better with like promised successes. Now, it stands for honesty and truth also, so it's done the right way, and it's a completion of a cycle. It shows large rewards, recognitions, the whole deal. Now, reversed, It means a sacrifice of goals and a period of stagnation, and also could be a payback for evil deeds that were done. So the flip side of the world, you'll have everything, everything when it's upright. But if it's here, I always call that the karma position. Whatever you've put out there is coming back. Let's hope it's all good. So that's it for today. And then we'll continue on into the minor arcana on the next video and start diving into that. And then we can get into those suits and be more detailed into those. And then after that, it'll be layouts. So I hope you please stick with me. And I hope you like and subscribe. And make sure to do that so that others can be seeing these videos as well. There might be that one person out there that would really like to have this. So again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on the next video. And until then, you have a magical day.